Hello and welcome to World Cup Have Your Say. And as we're on the eve of the semis, you might think that we'd all be glowing with excitement about the football to come. But judging by our inbox, that isn't how you're feeling. Patrick in Nigeria emailed me earlier to say, I've loved football religiously all my life, but I'm really starting to hate it. The game isn't beautiful anymore. I don't understand how things have gotten so bad so fast. And then he lists the reasons why. Patrick starts with the Suarez handball, which stopped Ghana making history, and the way he was held aloft as a hero at the end. Then we've the mellow stamp as Brazil chased the game against the Dutch. Next is Frank Lampard's ghost goal, which crossed the line but wasn't given. And Patrick recalls the play acting which contributed to Kaka getting his marching orders against Ivory Coast. So have you fallen out of love with the World Cup like Patrick? One leading sports journalist in the UK has called this a tarnished tournament. But is there a danger a few flashpoints are being allowed to overshadow some great action and thrilling matches? We're live and you're welcome to join in. Here's how.
Call us on country code 44 2070 83 72 72. You can text us from your mobile phone on country code 44 7786 20 60 80, or you can email us at worldhaveyoursay@bbc.com or add a comment on the blog at worldhaveyoursay.com.
We're also on Twitter and Facebook. You can get all of our details through worldhaveyoursay.com. Here in the studio with me is Victor, a Spain fan based in London. Hi, Victor. Good to speak to you. We've spoken a few times on the radio, so nice to see your face. We're also joined by Kwame, a Ghanaian who's in Nairobi at the moment. But first of all, let's speak to Johannes Ehrmann, a freelance football journalist based in Berlin. Johannes, do you think there's a danger that this tournament's been tarnished by play acting, by cheating and by poor decisions?
Well, I think these kind of things have always been part of football, really. I think, that's what makes the football interesting, really.
So you don't think this tournament's been any worse for those kind of things than previous ones?
No, if you look back at, for example, 1986, the Maradona, the hand of God, the Wembley goal in '66. We've always had these kind of decisions, so I guess that's going to stay with us in the future as well.
Do you agree with that, Victor?
Yeah, I do. I don't think you can pass by that. Technology isn't going to help, really. You're never going to be able to stop and actually be able to stop the game and watch a video of what happened. Did it go over the line? Did it not? It's going to be too difficult.
The technology's not going to stop your defender, Gerard Piqué, grabbing hold of a Paraguayan like he's playing tug of war and trying to haul him to the floor. It's that kind of stuff which is beginning to upset fans.
But that's football, really. At the end of the day, it's football. You get it at the park, you get it on Hackney Marshes, you get it in Madrid, in Cibeles, you get it everywhere. It's going to happen. You can't change it. It's the passion. It's too much to lose. Players don't want to lose. Mm-hmm. Countries don't want to lose. Managers don't want to lose their jobs. It's too much. It's passion.
All right. Victor says it's passion. If you want to talk about that, go to worldhaveyoursay.com and post your comments. Put your phone number as well if you'd like to come on air, both on World News Television and on BBC World Service Radio. Now, Kwame, you're a fashion designer based in Nairobi. I understand you also support Holland, so you're going to have to explain all this to me. But before you do you think this tournament's been tarnished by things like the Suarez handball?
Yeah, the handball game is it's part of the game. There's nothing you can do about it. I would have done the same thing if I was in his shoes.
And do you think that because Ghana was stopped, that FIFA needs to look at the rules and change? Lots of people are talking about a penalty goal for that kind of handball. Would you support that?
I can't hear you, please.
I was just saying, would you like to see a penalty goal for those kind of scenarios, such as the Suarez handball?
Yeah, it's part of the game, all these handball issues and the offside that is being beaten off, and it's part of the game. But if you get the opportunity to score, please, you do it.
OK, well, that's your point of view from Nairobi. I'm going to put up an email in a moment on the screen. Just before I do, let's go back to Johannes in Berlin. Is this just part of the game? Because lots of our viewers and listeners to the BBC are saying, actually, this seems to be worse. The play acting's worse. Look at what happened to Kaka against Ivory Coast. Look at that Italian writhing around in the goal against Slovakia as if he'd been hurt when he'd hardly been touched. Fans are getting upset about this, aren't you?
Yeah, well, about the acting, I totally agree. If I see these kind of players who think they're on a stage somewhere. I mean, it is a big stage, but after all, it's a sport. But I think it's a different thing if you talk about this handball. I mean, a scene like that in the 120th minute and a handball on the goal line. This happens maybe, I don't know, once in 30 years. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we should introduce rule changes now because of this one scene. Because usually a team is punished enough by a red card and a penalty. So I think, and this happening, of course, in the very last minute and the score being drawn before, this only happens, I don't know, once in a lifetime maybe.
I do wonder whether, Johannes and Victor, you're not concerned because both of your teams are in the semi-finals. It's easier to be relaxed about these things when you're still winning, isn't it?
I agree, definitely so. It's got to be harsh on Ghana, definitely so. But I think any of the players, all the 22 players on that pitch that day would have done the same. It was reactions. If you see what Suarez done, first one, he took it off the line with his knee. Second one, it was reaction. I think any player would have done the same.
Going to take a call from Ghana in just a moment. Fernando is in Uruguay saying, I think the discussion on Suarez's handball is ridiculous. To expect the rules to be changed in order for such a situation to lead to an automatic goal rather than a penalty is completely out of this football world. I wonder if Isaac agrees. Hi, Isaac, you're in Accra. Do you think this tournament's been tainted by that Ghana game?
Oh, actually, I was disappointed the other day, but now I have recovered. And looking at things, should Samoa score that goal, I think this thing would not have come up. But by changing the rules and other things so that it will be automatic goal, I think that one is not in football. So we should maintain it as it is, red card, kick and win, and that is it.
Interestingly, you're saying that's punishment enough. When we were on BBC World Service Radio, there were loads of Ghanaians calling in saying we need to have a penalty goal. One even suggested you have a penalty without a keeper, which is pretty much a penalty goal. Let's go from Accra to Sao Paulo and speak to Tom. He's a businessman in Brazil and is joining us live on BBC World News. Hi, Tom. What's your point?
I'm fine, yeah. What I think that this World Cup revealed to us is that technology showed more than our usual share of errors of judgment by the referees. Perhaps it's time FIFA incorporates the same technology in service of the referees instead of trying to borrow it from football matches. That way all these problems with the rules that we're discussing now would be solved at once.
And Tom, just while I've got you on the phone, how's the reaction been to Dunga and the team now they're back home?
Well, the average Brazilian football fan never was particularly fond of Dunga. So the general feeling is one that we're content that he's no longer coaching the national team.